Hazel, would you like to chew on a bully stick? This is Hazel, and this is Hazel's roadmap to success. She was a nervous dog when I first got here, and I think one of the things that we did kind of put her a little bit, made her a little uneasy. We did basically the technique that I use to stop dogs from jumping. When dogs usually jump up when they're excited, and when guests arrive is a time when there's pretty prime time for them to jump. Problem is when a dog jumps up on you, it's a way of claiming you as their property. And so I think that's related to her issues. I think she thinks she's in charge of the humans rather than the other way around. So remember to use that technique. I have the leash tethered to the armoire or whatever it is that's by the doorway. Just every time somebody comes over, put her on that. Tell your guest to come in and stay on the linoleum by the door and have them turn sideways so they're not facing her. And don't give her any commands. And you guys can come, you don't have to stand there. Just tell your guest, hey, if I stand here, I might make it worse. I'm going to go get you a drink of water or whatever it is. Come in here, grab a drink or whatever it is. And then tell the guest, as soon as she's calms down, turn to face her and reach down to pet her. As soon as you do that, she's going to start wiggling, step back out of her reach and turn to the side and wait for her to calm herself down again. She doesn't have to sit, but most dogs will start sitting. And you keep on doing that until eventually you'll do a turning back and forth, and eventually she'll just be calmer and calmer. So I'd like you to practice that like once at least every other day for the next 2 weeks. So ask a neighbor or somebody that's close by to come by and help you with that. And so that way she practices not jumping up on people because she doesn't have the ability to do it. And she learns that when I'm calm, people pet me. When I'm excited, they turn away and they're not interested. Right? Yes. Okay, so the next thing we went over were some creative ways of exercising the dog. Remember to start that exercise journal. Write down the time and new sheet for each day. Write down the time and how many up downs on the stairs. The time and how long she chased the laser. The time and how many fetches or how long the walk was or whatever it is. Something else you might want to do is scent games, the letter S-C-E-N-T, smelling. And what you do is you have her in the other room and you hide treats around the corners of couch legs, chairs, or whatever it is. She comes in here and she has to use her nose to find them. That's very physically draining and stimulating for the dog. But remember, she's going to need exercise probably about 4 to 6 times throughout the day in short little 5 to 10 minute training sessions, or little exercise bouts like we showed you. And I think you're going to notice a big difference if you start getting her a minimum of 4, but I'm guessing probably about 5 or 6. And start that exercise journal. Give her a letter grade at the end of each day, and keep on playing with the elements and the number of repetitions or number of exercises till you get to the point where she's giving you an A+ behavior. Now you know how much exercise she needs to be successful. We also went over the importance of structure and rules. So remember the rules that we went over: not being on the furniture, get the letter X mats to hold, you probably have to get 5 of them for your couches here. And then put them on there anytime you can't be there yourself. And then if you get up to go to the bathroom, pull it out from under the couch, put it there. When you come back and fold it and put it back under. Make sure that she go to the door, tell her to sit once. If she doesn't sit by the time she gets to 3, walk away, sit down somewhere and wait 1 minute before you try it again. If she doesn't sit within 3 seconds the next attempt, walk away for 2 minutes. Next time, walk away for 4 minutes, then for 8 minutes. Keep doubling the length of time until eventually when you walk away, she sits down. Or when you walk there and tell her to sit, she sits down. And as soon as she does, open that door and let her outside. Probably have her on a leash since we don't have a fenced-in yard here. All right, some other rules: not being allowed within 7 feet of a human who's eating, not being allowed in the kitchen when the humans are preparing food. I would say not allowed on the wood floor when we're eating at the table over there. Maybe a box around from the couches here so she's not going in this area when somebody has a snack here. She needs to eat after the humans eat first. So she doesn't eat very well, because she has food in her bowl all the time. So go over there, put food in the bowl, and then use those escalating consequences in the exercise I showed you here in the living room. Don't let her approach the bowl. Then you get a chip or cracker, something you can eat 5 or more bites, eat it. When you get done, tap the bowl and say, puppy, puppy, puppy. And when she comes over, sniffs it, that's all. Don't over-encourage her. And as soon as she walks more than 7 feet away, probably 5 feet because she's so small, pick up the bowl, dump it empty, but it's important to put the empty bowl back down. And then she doesn't eat it again until the next meal. Now, she's used to eating late at night, so what I would do is if she doesn't eat breakfast, you could do you could do it either way, but I would probably, if it was me, I would probably feed her breakfast, and if she walks away, I probably wouldn't feed, because right now she's only eating once a day. Get her a habit of eating early in the day. Right now she eats late in the day. And then if she eats all of her breakfast, then I would give her half of the portion for dinner. And if she eats it, and then the next day doesn't eat breakfast, maybe feed her a little bit less for dinner. And you want to get to the point where eventually she's just eating breakfast and dinner when you give her permission, because the rest of the time the bowl's on the floor, there's no food in it. Now remember to use passive training to give her a command word to eat. Whatever your favorite dish is, call it, lasagna or fajitas or steak or whatever name of your favorite restaurant. Every time she takes her first bite of food, maybe you say shrimp, and then and you do that for like 2 months. After a while, you say shrimp. She's like, that means I get to go eat, and that's just really helpful. Every time my dog takes a drink of water, I use passive training. I say the word agua. So if my dog I'm on a road trip and I want to tell the dog it's time to eat, drink some water, I can communicate that. The dog might not necessarily want to, but at least I'm communicating what it is. So every time she takes a drink of water, the first time she takes a drink, just say the word agua. Every time she brings you one of these toys, name all the toys. I guess they're already named. But every time she comes to you on her own, pet her and say come. Every time she sits on her own, pet her and say sit. Every time she lays down, pet her and say crash. And whenever possible, try to pet her under her chin and just say just the command word. Don't say good sit, just say just sit. I gotta be careful you don't chew on my finger. Go to the green spot, get a bunch of these bully bites. I would get bully bites and bully sticks and get the odor-free ones. Bring that coupon, I'll get you $5 off. And then the bully sticks, I would drill holes in the back. Now, don't drill it right here. Drill it about 1 inch in and get a zip tie and zip it and make sure it's low in the kennel. Maybe in the last, on one of the vertical rungs, not the other one. So that, you're going to come over here. All right, you come up and there we go. People can see you a little bit better at this angle anyways. And then leave the kennel door open. So the only way that she can eat it is in the kennel with the door open. We want her to practice being in the kennel with good, positive things go on. Before I go back, I will continue with the kennel. We'll talk about petting with purpose in a sec. So also grab 10 treats or 5 treats, tear them in half, and toss them in there. And let her go in and say the word ranch. Have a treat in your little jean pocket right here. Anytime that she gets up and goes over there on her own, pull out the treat and toss it or go over there and give it to her. So what it does is teaches her, if I go in here, now treats come. He comes and gives me a treat for just coming over here. And after you do that enough, hopefully within a day or two, she's actually going and sitting and lying down in there on her own. And the rest of the time, like I said, the bully stick is zip tied in the back so she can chew on it while she's in there. Just rep that a lot. We want her practicing going in there and coming out. And when she's out of the room, make sure there's a treat in there. So every time she goes in there, there's a treat waiting or she sees you throw one in there. Let me see. I'd also get a dog bed and use the same method that I showed you. And I have videos on my website how to do that if you forget how to do it. But I would probably put the kennel maybe right here next to the table if it doesn't block. And that way you can throw treats from the couch and then put the dog bed over there. However you guys want to have it set up. Let me see. What else? Petting with a purpose. So next time she jumps up on you or nudges you or paws or barks for attention, tell her to sit. Sit. When she sits, pet her under her chin. I know she was already sitting. It's just demonstration. Pet her under her chin and say the word sit once. Not good sit, not sit, sit. And you can pet her anywhere you want. Just avoid patting her on top of the head. You can caress and scratch, but all things being equal, try to scratch her the chin. But you can scratch her butt or other places as well. But remember, don't pet her when she's doing things you don't want. If she jumps up on you, pet her, you're saying, I'm petting you for jumping up on me. If she's nervous and you pet her, you'll make her more nervous or anxious or fearful. So if she's fearful and I want to let her know I'm here with her, I can lay my hand on her back without making it worse. But as soon as I start petting her, I'm going to make it worse. Now, when she is nice and calm, I can pet her from the base of her nape of her neck to the base of her tail in slow strokes that take about 2 to 3 seconds and come up with the words settle, zen, chill. The only time she hears it is when she's nice and relaxed. Can you come up here? There we go. I'm using it to lure her a little further away each time. And I'm eventually getting to the point where you're going to bite my thumb and I'm going to have to let go. Is that part of your plan? She's such a smarty pants. Now, because she's so smart, I would also use that. Dogs that have separation anxiety are very insecure. A lot of insecurity comes from lack of confidence. Teaching a dog different tricks and commands is a great way to boost their self-esteem. So what I would do is you can hire what I would do is I would just go to YouTube, search for dog tricks, and make sure it's positive reinforcement. A lot of the old way of training is force and punishment. We don't use that anymore. I never use it. But teach her how to do a circle. Teach her how to roll over. Teach her how to play dead. Teach her how to fetch your slippers or whatever it is. The more skills that she has, the more confident she's going to be. It also helps you practice demonstrating acting like a leader. Because you're the one that, if you have a mentor, you have a good feeling for your mentor. They're associated with you learning a new trick or command. So the more that you can teach her, I set a goal for trying to teach her one new trick a week. So, and alternate. There's 2 guardians in the house. So this Sunday, Guardian A is going to do it. And then again, use fun command words. So this week, I'm going to teach her how to roll over. And if you teach roll over, the next thing should be teaching her how to play dead because they kind of use the same technique. But remember, practice the video that's above this, practice the stay. Hopefully the Guardians, by the time they see this video, have already been practicing it for about a week, because go to my website, remember, and search for dog training tips. You can search for separation anxiety or stay, and just teach your dog to stay. Remember, first for duration, then for distance, and then for distraction. And so get to the point where she can put her in the bedroom and tell her to stay and come in here and watch a TV show or a movie, and she practices staying in the other room, with staying calm and without freaking out. Let me see, what else? Use the escalating consequences. If you want to do the exercise I did on the floor, I would do it a couple more times tonight after I leave, so it's fresh in your memory. And try to do that a couple of times a day with each one of you, different times of the day, and start elongating that. That's a great way to help you practice those consequences, and also your timing, and her practicing. Just because there's a treat on the floor doesn't mean I can get it. I have to wait for the humans to tell me I have permission to, because we hear the word booty. Yes. Remember to always say the command words in a normal tone of voice. Try not to say booty. That'll stop them from doing it. All right, now one last little thing we didn't talk about, I'm going to talk about here, is about potty training. She has some accents. Now, I think that the accents she has are related to the separation anxiety and not having actual accidents in the house. If your dog doesn't have an accident in front of you, you should never rub its nose in it. That's been clinically proven to make it harder to potty train your dog. Don't even get mad at them. If they start pottying, you want to kind of slap the wall or something to distract the dog, and then immediately take it outside. And then as soon as it starts to pee or poop, come up with a new command word. If you think your dog has a bad potty habit, I say the word business. So I go outside and give the dog 5 minutes to go. If it doesn't go in 5 minutes and not urgent enough, I bring it back inside and I hold the dog for about 15 minutes till it starts whimpering. Then I take it outside and give it another 5 minutes. I keep repeating that process till when I go outside and put it down, it pees or poops. As soon as it starts to pee, I say the word business one time in a normal tone of voice. When it gets done, I pull out a treat, pop the treat in the dog's mouth, and say the word business again. Remember, every time you give a treat for the rest of the dog's life for any trick or command, the treat should go in the mouth first, and they should hear the command word immediately after. Now, one last thing about training. If you're trying to teach the dog to do it down, if I go like this, once it gets about 2 inches, 3 inches away from the dog's nose, they'll stop following it. So what you want to do is try to keep that treat within an inch of the dog's nose. If you're trying to lure it down and it stops tracking, go back up to it. Literally touch the nose if you need to. I use the Tricky Trainer chicken livers. Remember, the smell of it is the most important thing. So get really smelly, stinky treats, because you really liked those, didn't you? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything else you guys want me to go over?
We're fantastic.
Fantastic. One of the Guardians, is a little bit tired. She's had a very long work week, which I can certainly relate to. There we go. I just want to turn you around so everybody can see how cute you are. But now you see. And so if I snatch her here, I'm going to kind of lose the trust that I built up. So what I'm doing is I'm going to kind of make it easier and let her get into and you see how that, well, I don't know if you can see with the camera angle, but she's kind of leaning towards it. And that's her way of saying I'm uncomfortable. And so I'm not telling her to come and get it. I'm just offering it. It's right here. And the Guardian's going to come over here and put her in my lap. There we go. And you can have this all to yourself now. She's like, but I don't want it. There we go. All right. Well, this good-looking girl is Hazel, or Hazy, I think is what they call her. And Crazy Hazy. And this is Hazy's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you mean it. Right, Hazy?